Welcome to SharkFarmer TV. My name is Rob Sharkey. I'm your host, and I'm taking my little monster for a walk. This is Maisie. Zia Maze. Maisie, sit. Sit. Yeah, good dog. I'm also rocking the ball on top of the toque. I guess that's hip now. It's cool. When I was in grade school, it wasn't hip. There's the neighbors doing the one finger wave. Actually, I don't know who that is. I used to get made fun of in grade school for wearing a ball on top of a toque, but I guess it's hip now. My daughter told me. Same daughter that told me I could wear skinny jeans. Wasn't a good look. I looked like a lollipop. Tonight we got man on the street interviews. We also got the millennial farmer, Zach Johnson. You know, I should have asked him. He's hip. He would know whether to rock the... Anyway, enjoy the show.
Unstoppable, unshakable, but it rolls off the tongue, unfakeable. It's unavoidable, he's so relatable. Read between the lines, start to loosen up your mind. A ground shaker, a rule breaker. Hold tight, he'll roll you through every acre. So get ready for the next shaker.
Farms have evolved a lot over the years. The old McDonald's style of a farm with a cow, a chicken, a goat, or whatever have given way to more specialized and monoculture practices. When a farm had livestock, those animals would poo. Eventually, there would be enough poo that the farmer had to deal with said poo. Luckily, poo makes great fertilizers for the crops. But how do you get the poo on the fields? A manure spreader, like the one seen here, used to be a staple on every family farm. Now the concept is fairly simple. You put the poo in the box, there's chains on the bottom of the box, and it moves the poo to the spreaders in the back, which leads to a poo-splosion, spreading the number 2 fertilizer in the field so they can fertilize the crops. The crops that the next generation of animals eat. You see, it's a whole circle of life type of thing. It's pretty awesome, really. Imagine taking this giant pile of crap and making it do this. Now, in Back to the Future, remember Biff? He was the bully. He would always run into the big piles of poo. Imagine if they just set him behind a running manure spreader in the first one. That would have taught him a lesson. Remember in the third movie when they used a train to push a DeLorean to 88 miles per hour because apparently there was no gasoline in the Old West? Are you really telling me that Doc Brown couldn't create gasoline? He invented time travel. He made an ice maker in the 1800s, but apparently making ethanol was beyond his skill set. But I digress. The manure spreader was a vital part of American agriculture. One of the most important tools on a farm, although it was usually parked behind the barn due to its dirty nature. It should have been showcased. It should have been modified to look like this bad boy. Now this is how you spread excrement. This is like the Mad Max of manure spreaders. Whoever built this thing really needs to get into battle bots. I'm sure this is fine. This video is from Peter Ness showing the flooding this spring in North Dakota. I'm sure Burlington Northern probably frowns on a leaning train. Maybe if they just magnetize the tracks, the train would stay on. You ever think about that? I'm pretty much an expert on railroads. After laying millions and millions of tracks for that smug Thomas the Tank Engine. Don't know who Thomas the Tank Engine is? He's an anthropomorphical figure steam locomotive. What's anthropomorphical? Oh, it's where they put a human characteristic on an object. So in short, they slapped a face on a cheap toy train and used it to brainwash my children until they relentlessly pestered me and my wife until we bought Thomas the Tank Engine movies, books, shirts, socks, train sets. Oh yeah, and the train set extensions. And then they came out with the battery-operated little train engines, which deemed to my children that all their old train engines were useless now because they weren't battery operated. Why can't we have at least anthropomorphical farm toys? I'd much rather buy the kids a Thomas the tractor toy, Corey the combine, Sally the silage chopper, Manny the manure spreader, Spitz the sprayer. Think of all the adventures they could have. They would be so much better than those stupid, dumb trains that had to stay on their stupid, dumb tracks. Biggie Smalls actually did a remix of the theme song, but if you listen to it, you better not have the kids around. Here's another example of the flooding this spring, this time from Spring Valley, Wisconsin. The water is not only high enough to go over the road, it's actually moving these plastic wrap bales. Could you imagine if you didn't know what this was, someone that's not familiar with ag? They're probably thinking, look at these huge marshmallows crossing the road. This is like something that would come out of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. According to the Urban Dictionary, marshmallow is a name for a person who loves sweet potato pie. Why? Because if you show me a sweet potato pie, I'm on top of it. Imagine the oversized Easter peeps you can make from those things. I have a sinking feeling something's amiss. It's always the cart driver's fault. Always. There's never not a time when it's not the cart driver's fault. Now, in this case, the wheel fell into a sinkhole. So, I'm assuming that the cart driver must have caused the sinkhole. I don't know how you cause a sinkhole. Apparently, you have to ask the cart driver.
This week's machinery pick of the week is presented by John Deere.
Now for a moment of, aww. Look at this pincher sitting in from Doug Mitchell of Tampico, Illinois. Aww. It's like she needs little pedal extensions. That is quite the determined look on her face, though. Anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic. That's what I said. Anthropomorphical. Anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic.
Oh, anthropomorphic.
That's literally what I just said. Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphical.
You can break it down in syllables all you want. I just said that. Anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphical.
Literally what I just said. Anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphical. Oh, I hate that frickin' train. If you have an interesting or entertaining video or picture and you think the world should see it, then let us know at SharkFarmer.com. While you're there, check out the What the Farm podcast and the one that started it all, the Shark Farmer podcast. Catch me Monday through Friday on Rural Radio Sirius XM, channel 147, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube.